So for me, what feminism means to me is just the right of women to choose. So it could be you choose when you want to get married and to whom you want to get married to. You have the right to go to school if you want to go to, like when you're up to 18 years old, you have to go to school. So yeah, so that's what's important for me, the rights and the side of choice as well.
I agree with her perspective, but I think simplistically, and this I got from my father today as I was preparing for this. I'm sorry guys, I had to prep with my dad because he's the biggest feminist I know. And he said it's someone or the understanding that we owe it to ourselves and other people to believe in the full equality of the humanity of men and women. Just in the equality of the humanity of men and women. So if you question thing X, say virginity in a woman, and you don't question it in a man, you don't have a problem with virginity. You have a problem with babes. So that's the sort of like understanding I have, the equality of humanity of both men and women, and that then brings in choice, it brings in rights, it brings in social and political empowerment and all those other things.
Feminism, it could be a universal concept, but the thing is, feminism has a diversity of definition. Because if I may ask anyone, let me just do like a short survey. Everyone just take one, like 30 seconds and actually define feminism in your head right now. So I believe if your definition has equality of sexes, or equality of gender, or equality of humanity, there's one thing which coincides with everyone, and that's equality. So regardless of equality of women and men, and actually I agree with her definition, but I disagree as well. Because we're in the 21st century, and in this century, people are tending not to subscribe to maybe to be a male or female, and actually there are people who actually are gender non-binary, who actually now don't just subscribe to any. I'm neither male or female, but I'm me as a person. I identify myself as me. So the thing is, for them, they can actually advocate for feminism, but they don't jump in the bandwagon of feminism, but they're fighting for equality. So I believe feminism, for me, is actually, it was there, but it has died off.
So it's not a universal concept in your opinion?
At the moment, it's ceasing to be one, because people are actually moving past feminism and actually moving now to a transgender universe. So feminism to me is actually dying out, and it's ceasing to be a universal concept.
Okay.
Yes.
I completely disagree with that, because like she said, feminism is just the freedom of choice. To me, feminism is the freedom of choice and wanting gender equality. And that is the simplistic definition of feminism. But feminism is not universal in the way that it is. It is contextual, it's cultural, and it's individual, how you define yourself as a feminist. And also the context that you find yourself in, and the country you find yourself in. Like feminism in Kenya is not the same as feminism in Norway, because we're fighting different battles. So the big battle is wanting the same opportunities, but the small things differ, and that is how, like, feminism doesn't need to be a universal concept, because we can't all be fighting for the same small things.
Yes, I think it's a universal concept, because women exist everywhere. That's one. And also I feel that over the years, actually if you look back to history, the same problems that women face have been repeating themselves. However, I think right now a lot has changed, and I think more than focusing on feminism, we should focus on the female expression.
Just from understanding both words, and okay, I don't know if people like reducing things to like some mathematical concepts or something of the sort. When you want to negate two things, and you bring it to a 0 point, it's not left, it's not right anymore. So when you want to make equality between males and female, that is actually a claim that being male or being female should not matter. But human beings are sexual creatures. Yeah, so if we are going to have a system that we want to say being male and being female doesn't matter, that strikes me as irrational, because human beings are not the same. Yeah, so you can even say that human beings, we are equal in humanity. We are the same species, yes, we are human beings. but all of us are different as individuals. And also the other challenge is like even in demanding rights. The moment you say I have a right, you're saying other people have a responsibility. Yeah. So if we are defining feminism purely on the context of equality, then I dismiss myself from it. Because I do not ascribe to an androgynous society. That's not what human beings are biologically, from what I've understood. And also, if we are going to say that it's just about rights, I do not see something that falls in nature that ascribes to any human being any rights.
Okay, so may I ask you then, what scope set is that feminism existing for you to be able to actually answer this question?
Okay, if feminism is just about females pursuing female interest, then that's a project I can support.
So what are female interests?
It will depend on the females. What are they interested in and what are they going after? And if they can give a rational reason why they should have that thing, then I can support that. But if they just want to guilt trip me about it, then I will reject it.
The concept entirely that has been presented by 5 individuals by assuming an androgynous situation. And I say that based off of the fact that I think I'm the first person who said equality, but I said the equality of their humanity. And this is what I mean. The equality of opportunities, not of outcomes. The equality of opportunities, not of outcomes. Outcomes are defined by an individual. Opportunities are provided by society. That is a very distinct difference that then sets the tone for whether feminism is going to be sort of like this angry power movement or just a really basic rational discussion on do people deserve the same chances at things.
The issue of feminism, in my view, yes, it's universal. Secondly, it is a confusing thing. It's confusing because one, as much as I ascribe to what he says, I think what the audience seem to agree is that we are going for fairness in terms of how we coexist, like balancing ourselves in terms of how you serve, how you function within the society. Now, when we look at it from the perspective of you are wrong, there are cultural issues and there are dynamics, like she said, in Europe and developed continents, maybe the way they look at it, but the bottom line is either you are mistreating or you are being mistreated. So we are confusing further by making the feminism an issue of imbalance to the, let us say, the man. So there has to be, I think, a new concept to develop to bring about a balance that stands for both the male and female to be able to work together as an equal party, so that we destroy the feminism and we have a common equal statement that defines fairness.
Okay, I'd like to talk about African feminism because it's the most overlooked, or I don't know how to put it. When people talk about feminism, they think about the feminism they see on social media, on the news, but nobody will tell you about feminism that covers the issues we as African women face. Because in Africa, we have religion, we have culture, we have our social upbringing, because the way I was brought up isn't the same way somebody in New York was brought up. I was brought up in a very strict way. And in Africa, religion is a very inbuilt thing within our social structure. So it can't be the same thing that somebody will come like from Norway. They have their different concept and what we have.
People don't really say, okay, I'm this type of feminist, I'm this type of feminist. But from my own personal perspective, I get the idea that white feminism is kind of looked at in a negative sort of way. That this is, for example, you'd see maybe someone from America writing something about feminism and equal rights in America, and someone would respond like, what do you have to complain about? You're not being married off when you're 12. You know, you don't go through FGM, so there's nothing really for you to complain about. But then, you know, at the same time, like Ida was saying, different countries have different issues. So the things they are fighting here in Africa, we are fighting here in Africa, is not the same things they're fighting there. You know, for them it seems like harassment, equal pay has actually grown so much in the past years or so.
The reason someone would ascribe to a certain type of feminism is because of their experience. right? So to silence another one type of feminism would be to silence their experience, or to tell them their experience has no matter.
I did not want to engage because, not to say not all men are trash, but I felt the messaging was off. And
What messaging particularly?
Just the blanket statement that men are trash.
Okay.
Yeah. But on the flip side, you hear day in, day out stories of the discrimination and the abuse that women go through. And I think from what I've observed in Kenya specifically, because I've not gone beyond Kenya and Uganda, the reason feminism gets such backlash is because the messaging comes off as aggressive.
Assuming everything was perfect, there was equal opportunities, there was equal chances, there was equal treatment, right? What then would you fight for? Is fighting for rights the essence of a woman? Or I feel, what I would say is this. This is what I'm leading to. I believe the solution is for women to be empowered in themselves. Because I feel if women are empowered, there will be the solutions to themselves. They will know how to handle situations.
Everything will be good, like we will achieve gender equality and there will be no issues in society in general as long as a woman develops within herself. You're dismissing the whole patriarchal society and how women are not giving the same opportunities. Just the women essence, if we're just becoming like real women, what does that even mean? Like, there's so many powerful women already who are not given a chance because of that society that is ruled by men.
I don't think it is the responsibility of the oppressed to incentivize the oppressor to change their ways. Two, just overall, there's some things that you said that are actually true. I feel like women should live up to their full potential. No one is denying that. What we are saying is get out of our way so that we can do that. Because it's not that you are standing literally in my way, you're stopping me from being effective at my job, but it's the way the system is set up.
So my problem with you talking about the way feminism is being packaged, because if we can agree at the very basic level is that men versus women, yeah? It's not versus as we're fighting, but it's basically men have done this thing which is standing in our way, as she said. We're trying to do this thing, trying to be our very best, trying to achieve our very best potential, but we can't. We really can't. So what makes us angry, what makes us radical, what makes us not palatable in our message, in how we present it, is because we try. So I'll come and tell you, oh, I need pads to go to school. You'll think, oh, we'll discuss it in Parliament next year, somewhere there. We try again. Let's try and make sure women are represented in Parliament. 3 bills, 4 bills, 5 bills since 2010, it's not going to happen. So we become angry. We're trying to tell you this thing in the nicest way possible. It's not happening. And so the last resort is you becoming this person who's angry.
I feel, okay, let me be honest. I feel the whole women should fully express themselves and that will achieve equality is a bit far-fetched because it doesn't really solve the problem of inequality. I think the major problem with men, not only in Kenya, but globally, and the topic of feminism, is just simple. It's very difficult for a man to accept his point of privilege. If men accepted that for them they can walk at night without being scared, that no female child will start shouting at them the same way. I think the two men in the panel, whose views I really respect, I think they should go sit down and they should also try and see their point of privilege. Look at what they can achieve in the society and ask, if they were female, would it be as easy as they have? I've looked at what I've achieved, and I can tell you for a fact, if I was a girl, probably it would have been much harder. So that's the whole disconnect. That's the bridge that that's the gap that's trying to be bridged.